Mr.
Milmore.
Milmore. He's going to read 17E. So nice and loud, and then kind of follow along with your finger. What's that?
Yeah, but he has to go to L, right?
No, won't work.
Wait, what?
We're already recording.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So go right ahead, nice and loud.
A harvest of sand. The ability of the earth to support life depends on the amount of rainfall it receives. The tropical rainforests of Africa, Asia, and Central and South America are teeming with life. They get up to 400 inches a year. Yet, in other parts of the world, little or no rain falls, making the land barren. Areas where the annual rainfall is less than 10 inches a year are called deserts. The largest of the Earth's deserts in Sahara in northern Africa, the largest of Earth's deserts in the Sahara in northern Africa. The Sahara covers an area almost as big as the United States. Apart from the central portion, which is mountains, the Sahara consists mostly of sand. There's water, but it lies far below the surface in ancient underground lakes. In some places, it bubbles to the surface in the form of springs. More often, though, wells have to be dug to get to it. In these places, the soil is fertile, and people can grow crops and raise animals. Oases spring up around these places, often becoming the size of small towns.
Good. Let me move this up a little bit. There we go.
Where was I?
Small towns. You got it.
They're a welcome sight to the travelers who cross the harsh land on the backs of camels, or more commonly today in four-wheel drive vehicles.
Okay, so you have a choice. You can own a camel, and you get to ride it to school every day, or you could own a truck, a four-wheel drive truck. Which would you pick?
Probably a truck.
Really? You wouldn't want the camel? Shh. Talking to him. Thank you. Take the truck over a camel. You wouldn't want a camel?
I don't know.
Yeah. My daughter rode a camel just last year. She enjoyed it. Okay. Okay. All right. Nope. All right, go right ahead.
South of the Sahara are the countries that make up the
Sahel.
The Sahel is an area that stretches 4,000 miles from Senegal in the west to
Ethiopia
in the west. This part of Africa was once mostly grassland. As grassland, it provided good pasture for cattle and made it possible for the people of these countries to be reasonably well fed. In recent years, however, it has been afflicted with long dry spells. They have been the worst ones in nearly 2 centuries. As the droughts continue, rivers and lakes dry up. Without water, the grass withers and the cattle are left with nothing to feed on. To make matters worse, too many trees that held the soil in place have been cut down for firewood. This has resulted in widespread soil erosion.
Right about there.
Because of changing weather patterns, the Sahara spreading into the Sahel as it continues to expand southward. The Sahara has taken over more than 250,000 square miles since the 1950s. This is equivalent to an area roughly the size of France and Austria combined. Although nothing can be done to change weather patterns, scientists believe that in time conditions will change. If that happens, the land that is now desert may revert into grassland. The people of the Sahel have suffered greatly. However, hundreds of thousands have already died as a result of famine. 1/3 of all the children born in the Sahel still die before their fifth birthdays. Millions have left their once prosperous villages and had poured into the overcrowded cities to the south, where they live in primitive shelters. Now, I don't know.
No, neither do I. Good question. Nouakchott. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Nouakchott on Africa's west coast was home to 15,000 people in the 1950s. By 2005, the town's population had exploded to an estimated 750,000 people. Most of them
Refugees.
refugees from the slowly spreading desert to the north.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Now, one more question here before you go. So they were talking about an area that would get up to, 400 inches of rain a year. And then, of course, there's other areas where they get almost no rain. If you had the choice to live at a place that got 400 inches of rain a year, or a place that was more desert-like, where they hardly got any rain, which would you pick?
Probably the place with the most water.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's probably a good thing you picked the truck, because camel wouldn't do much good there. I don't know. Can camels swim? You think a camel can swim?
Maybe, I don't know.
Has anybody... We should look that up, see if camels can swim. I mean, when would camels ever have an opportunity to swim? Pretty rare. Yeah. I don't know. I would think camels could swim. It'd be kind of instinctive. But maybe not.
Oh yeah, Mr. Submarine.
Okay, nicely done. Thank you so much.
Mr. Glazer.